After Mia dodged the bullet, or rather the guillotine, by subtly rejecting Sion's invitation and claiming Abel as her dance partner to protect him and herself, mostly herself, Abel is shocked by Mia's declaration as he sees himself as inferior to Sion. However, Mia encourages him to improve and assures him that his worth can grow with time. This unexpected kindness from Mia deeply impacts Abel, changing his perspective and future. Meanwhile, Sion is left disappointed but impressed by Mia's actions while his aide, Keithwood, makes fun of him and suspects there might be more to Mia, the little devil, than meets the eye.
An hour before the welcome ball for the new students, Mia was alone in the public bath. Was it the self-assurance of royalty? The confidence of the elite? The lackness of attitude afforded only to those who believed that showing up late was fashionable? No, it was not. As a matter of fact, Mia was on the verge of tears.
This is the worst. This is the absolute worst.
It has become a trend among the young daughters of aristocracy and royalty to wear extravagant dresses with many layers of clothing. If we include the extensive application of makeup, it is easy to see how preparing for a ball could take several hours. So why then was Mia in the public bath? And what's more, she was all alone. There were no signs of Anne, who should be by her side. The answer lay in her hair, which was covered in some sort of mucus-like substance. Currently, she was frantically lathering her hair in an attempt to clean it. To understand how Mia ended up in this sticky situation would require replaying the events that led up to this moment. On that day, Mia got up early in the morning. She had breakfast and lunch, and she had plenty of time to change into her dress. Her excessively doting father, the Emperor, has sent her the finest dress that couldn't be found in any other kingdom. Though it was especially time-consuming to put on, it was also incomparably gorgeous. She was dressed in such a flashy dress, her makeup was perfect, and she still had 2 hours left until the party. The 2-hour leeway and the comfort it afforded would prove to be her downfall.
Perhaps I should take a small stroll around the school.
As she walked around the school grounds, she came across a new sight. The equestrian club was walking their horses.
I've never seen one so up close.
As she idly stared at the horses, one of them brought its nose down to her. Mia wasn't adverse to animals, so she was pleased with the horse and reached out her hand, intending to give it a pat. It was a mighty sneeze, accompanied by a heavy payload. After the burst of air passed, Mia found herself soaked in horse snot.
Why is this happening?
Mia was sniffing and sobbing. It was truly an unfortunate event. Of course, it was also true that in her excitement, Mia was spraying a little too... She sprayed a ton of her favorite perfume all over herself, and the scent might have been a tad strong. But even so, it is hard not to feel sorry for her. Anne almost fainted when she saw Mia's state upon returning, all dreary and depressed. She calmed the half-crying snot-covered Mia down and told her to go clean herself in the bath, but there was nothing Anne could do about Mia's situation, or so Mia thought.
Well, it can't be helped. And could you help me put enough makeup so I don't make a fool of myself? And as for the dress, just pick an old one.
Since Mia looked so dejected when saying those words, Anne's soul was ignited. She was a maid, damn it, and as a maid, she wasn't going to let this stand. As if, I won't let Mia Sam embarrass herself. Anne's burning passion raged and roared, and her maid pride had an awakening. Mia Sama is a natural beauty, so she doesn't need much makeup to look stunning. With that in mind, Anne only applied eyeliner to soften her slightly first impression around her eyes. The remainder of her energy was spent on Mia's dress. It was far too late to put her on something formal, and it was better to avoid anything too flashy. In the end, Anne chose a simple snow-white dress. It showed a bit of shoulder, and the skirt was on the shorter side, making it perfect for dancing. As for the finishing touches, she spritz on a faint scent of perfume, unlike the quantity Mia had used on herself earlier. When Mia arrived at the party, The boys couldn't help but be taken aback by Mia's appearance. Among all the girls wearing lavish dresses, Mia, who was wearing a simple one, looked healthier and more radiant than anyone. The reason was simple. Almost all the other girls looked pale from the tightness of their corsets. Their blanched faces were more pallid than pretty. Some of them looked like they might keel over at any second. Mia, on the other hand, wasn't wearing a corset. Moreover, the nice warm bath she just had got her blood flowing, so her cheeks were rosy and her skin glowed. In addition, Mia's smooth skin, which would have been hidden within all the dress's layers, was exposed thanks to her simple dress. Although the dress lacked luxury, and made sure it had the effect of fully enhancing Mia's natural charm. The combination of all these things raised Mia's rating from a normal pretty girl to a fairly pretty girl. She's not a peerless beauty, so let's not exaggerate. It's not like she became the stuff of legends. However, her beauty was definitely enough to attract the attention of all the boys in the venue. And when the fairly pretty Mia decided to let out a forlorn sigh, a couple of them turned to look at her so quickly they probably gave themselves whiplash.
As I thought, of course I would stand out, coming to a party in such light clothes.
Some of the boys in the venue were taken aback, not knowing what was going on through her mind, or that she had no choice but to wear that dress because of a stupid reason like being caught in horse knees. At this point, it is necessary to point out that among the boys of the academy there existed a rather prevalent belief about beauty. In their innocence and naivety, and perhaps stupidity, they held such opinions as, "The best makeup is no makeup," or "The most precious beauty is natural beauty." Okay, that may actually be true. To possess such raw charm and splendor would indeed be ideal. I mean, who wouldn't want to wake up every day looking like a superstar? No powder, no jewels, just pure unbridled glamour exuding from every pore of the body. For the girls who can do that, set value is perfect. And for those who can't, it was just sophistry. Let's be honest, spending hours doing your hair, putting on makeup, and then walking around half suffocated in a corset only to have some teenage blockheads tell you he'd rather you look pretty without them. It was enough to make even the most dignified of girls hurl an expletive or two. Unfortunately for them, boys hold this value into their hearts to a religious level, and this school of thought is stronger among children of nobles who are usually surrounded by well-dressed women. Abel was also a person influenced by such values. Is this really happening? Abel was anxious as he waited for Mia. The events of that day didn't feel real, so much so he started thinking it was all a dream. He never imagined he would become the dance partner of the Tearmoon Empire's princess. That was unthinkable. Simply unbelievable. When Mia arrived as pretty as if she had come out of a dream, white dress and a radiant skin, he almost pinched himself. My God, she's gorgeous. Under the faint light of the venue, Mia looked as beautiful as a moon goddess. That was just the effect of poor lighting though. Am I really going to dance with her? This is just a dream, right? Or some crazy misunderstanding. Just as he was thinking like that, Mia was turning head after head as she approached, and when she stopped in front of him, they were the focus of everyone's attention. He realized his lips were very dry. Doubt began to creep into his mind.
I'm terribly sorry, Prince Abel.
When she suddenly apologized, he couldn't help but think she was calling the whole thing off. Well, I guess that's that. Prince Sion is the only one who can measure up to her. On one hand, he was disappointed, but on the other hand, he was also slightly relieved and ended up speaking in a soft tone. Oh, don't be. I don't mind. You look so pretty that it doesn't really matter. You're wasted on me. Please go to Prince Sion. What was he trying to imply? In response, Mia placed her hands on her petite bosom and let out a sigh of relief.
Thank you, Prince Abel. You are very kind.
And then, seemingly without reason, with both of her small hands, she grabbed Abel's right hand.
Well then, shall we?
Eh? Before he knew it, Mia led him to the center of the ballroom. Mia had kicked herself into high gear. She didn't look nearly as good as she had hoped, or so she thought, and yet Abel smiled kindly. Furthermore, he was considerate enough to call her beautiful.
Prince Abel is truly a gentleman. I can't believe he didn't say anything about the dress. But I can't keep taking advantage of his kindness forever. I need to earn some points fair and square.
Since her childhood, Mia has been educated as an imperial princess. However, in reality, her results weren't impressive. Now, after her reincarnation, she was actually putting some work into her education in her own way. Even so, she only managed to be slightly above average at best. Mediocrity was truly the name of her game. That said, there was one thing at which she excelled: ballroom dancing. Mia's dancing abilities are unquestionably second to none, and it wasn't a self-reliant skill such as herself being able to dance beautifully. She could grasp the ability level of her partner and adjust her tempo and movements to that level, allowing him to experience the thrill of their steps flowing in perfect unison. Make no mistake, as a dancer, Mia was the real deal. Even though it is a skill Mia is very proud of, in the previous timeline she never had the chance to show off her outstanding talent. Back then, she refused all invitations to dance at the welcome dance party for new students during her first year. After all, in a situation like that, isn't it normal for people to think she doesn't like dancing? Consequently, no one ever asked her to any more dances, as she endured many an evening thereafter in the company of no one but her own lonesome self.
This is it. Now it's time to show off my abilities.
Mia pulled Abel's hand gently and smiled.
Let's dance, Prince Abel.
Wait, whoa! Though he stammered hesitantly as soon as she began, he immediately fell into step.
Not bad. He seems to know what he is doing.
Mia looked at Abel, trying hard to dance correctly in front of her, and nodded in satisfaction. There was a stiffness to his steps, but it didn't feel like the unfamiliarity of an amateur. Rather, it seemed to be due to him paying far too much attention to the floor in an effort to keep from stepping on Mia's feet.
It is the most basic of courtesies to avoid stepping on a lady's feet after all. It's much better than being so focused on dancing well that you disregard your partner. However, if the partner is me, it is a pointless concern.
Little did he know he couldn't step on Mia's feet even if he tried. After all, she was far too skilled of a dancer to allow that to happen.
My, do I sense some potential here? Let's make this a good practice for him.
Mia stepped up the dance just a little and broke into a sequence of steps just outside of Abel's comfort zone. It wasn't hard for Abel to follow, but it was hard to keep up with her. It is the type of dance that improves one's skill after it is finished. The evening that Mia Luna Tearmoon appeared in the ballroom before her classmates would go on to become stuff of legend. It began with rumblings of discontent slowly spreading through the room. After becoming the absolute center of everyone's attention, the actual dance she was currently performing was totally average, even mediocre.
What is this? I guess she knows how to stand out, but her dancing isn't something to write home about.
Well, what do you expect? I mean, princess of a powerful country or not, she's still a kid. In some parts of the venue, whisperings of jealousy and mockery could be heard. While Mia's fellow first years might still be moonstruck, the older students saw her as an eyesore. After all, they went through the considerable pain to make themselves look pretty, only to have their thunder stolen from them by Mia's presence. Having been turned into no more than side characters, they decided to let their displeasure be known. They're not dumb enough to say things like that to her face, but few could resist talking behind her back. As for the target of their animosity, well...
Very good, Prince Abel. You are very skilled at dancing.
Mia couldn't have cared less about the murmurs in the audience. She continued to dance, carefully and gently leading Abel with the accuracy of a seasoned instructor. Except her lead was unnoticeable. At first glance, it looks like Abel is the one leading. By dancing in service of her partner, Mia allowed him to rebel in the moment. The best dancers elevated their partners. Mia did just that. No one in the ballroom had caught on to what Mia was doing. No one except Abel, of course. Is it just me, or could it be that Princess Mia is holding back so I can keep up? At the same time, he also noticed the reactions of the crowd. The harsh eyes of the audience on Mia, the stares of those who scoff at the star of the show, who was making a fool of herself on the dance floor. Worst of all, Abel knew he was the cause, and the knowledge filled him with regret and guilt. She said she believed in me, and now she's being humiliated? This can't. Abel looked at her. She looked back. Her face, a mask of nonchalance. It was a front. It had to be. A kindness to put his mind at ease. Is she doing this for me? Abel grimaced. It was a thought too painful to bear. Just then, he suddenly caught a glimpse of the only person who could match Mia. As soon as the music ended, he took Mia's hand and led her toward a group of students where Sion, surrounded by a circle of girls, was enjoying some light banter.
Prince Abel, where are you going?
Without answering the question, he went straight to Sion. Prince Sion, may I ask for a favor?
What's the matter?
I'm a little tired and I need to rest for a bit. Could I ask you to accompany Princess Mia in the meantime?
Prince Abel!
He paid her no mind and kept looking straight at Sion. A brief silence ensued.
I understand. Indeed, I was hoping I could accompany Princess Mia to a dance. Since the opportunity has presented itself, might I ask you to join me for a number? What?
I'm a little spent, so I'll go get some drinks. For a few moments, she said nothing. Then she turned towards Sion and with an innocent smile answered.
Is that so? Just one piece then.
Abel felt his chest tighten at the sight. That lovely smile which until moments ago had been his alone was now directed at someone else. It was a mixture of frustration, sadness, jealousy, and regret swirling together into a dark torrent of emotions that threatened to burst out of him in a scream of frustration. Because I'm not good enough. A strong burning feeling rose in his chest. It was a feeling he'd never felt or seen. He didn't want to lose. Faced with an opponent that he once thought was unbeatable, someone who despite his best effort would forever outmatch him, he didn't want to admit defeat. He didn't want to give up. For the first time in his life, he felt that passion, heart-burning passion that teared his body and consumed his soul. Next time I won't let her go. Feeling the pain of his teeth sink into his lips, he turned and walked away. By the way, I think it is appropriate to describe what Mia was thinking when she showed a bright smile to Sion.
Indeed, the opportunity has presented itself. To trip you up, that is. I hope you take a spectacular fall and make a terrible fool of yourself with everyone watching.
To be clear, dancing with Sion was the last thing she wanted to do. But if she had no choice, she figured she might as well make the best out of the situation and try to embarrass him in any way possible. She couldn't help but let her wicked feelings show on her face. Abel's eyes were already so clouded he couldn't differentiate such black-hearted smile from a sweet one. Poor guy, really. But Mia's plan was bound to fail. She had forgotten a crucial fact. Prince Sion's soul songland was flawless in every way. Unlike Mia, who was perfect only when she danced, Sion was a boy who could do everything. Of course, that includes dancing. And so, the legendary night reached its climax.
This is it for this video. We will continue with the story of the Guillotine Princess in the next episode. This was Brian and Marco from Jobless Weebs. Matinee.